Hi, I'm Valerie, and I am not a dermatologist, but I am a person with sensitive skin. And over the past year, I started looking at the products I was using and their impact on my skin situation, which in short is very dry, really sensitive, and prone to rosacea, and sort of rashes and cracking and all sorts of negativeness, especially in winter months where lots of variables exacerbate its angry crackliness, armpits included. So that's how I started to look at what I was putting on my armpits and sometimes other places to debunk. Based on some dedicated YouTube research, read rather casual, linked below, I came to realize that I was harboring some misconceptions about sweating. I learned that anti-perspirant that I was using causes you to sweat less, which I had always thought, great, right? However, actually sweating is how your body naturally cools itself, so not such a bad thing. And sweat doesn't cause odor directly. It's actually the bacteria on your skin that's the culprit there. And some of the irritation that I was experiencing was likely related to the ingredients found in the antiperspirant that I was using. In fact, here's a short list of some ingredients that are likely to cause irritation. First is that aluminum salt. It can be irritating to skin. Hyperhidrosis, which is the condition of people over sweating, suffers, i.e. the clinically super sweaty, are prescribed aluminum salt. It actually works in antiperspirants in that it actually clogs up the sweat glands. That's how it's preventing sweating over time. Another ingredient to look out for if you're a person with sensitive skin is baking soda. Baking soda is a base and it changes the pH of your skin. It can be caustic and irritating, and on some people it causes contact dermatitis in the skin, and it can actually cause an increase in bacteria production. Another ingredient to be concerned about are essential oils. Essential oils are antibacterial for the most part, but they can be irritating to the skin in some people. And you also want to be concerned with essential oils that they can oxidize and degrade over time and when exposed to certain conditions, like say moisture or heat in the average bathroom where you shower or take a bath and it gets extra steamy. So after my research, I decided to take a look and try 3 natural deodorants, leaving antiperspirant behind. And these are just my personal opinions of how I found these products. The 3 that I chose to use are Lume, I don't know that I'm pronouncing that correctly, and I went with the juniper berry. I chose to use and continue to use, actually, spoiler alert, native deodorant. And I've used 2 different types of these. This is the blackberry and green tea. I've also had the grapefruit and bergamot. And then EO, which says, love life, live clean. Organic deodorant in all day cool, vetiver. So let me give you a rundown based on the ingredient list. So first up in irritants was baking soda. So baking soda, nope. For Lume, native, yes, but it's the 4th ingredient. So it's not super high on the list. It does contain sodium bicarbonate though. And EO, nope. Essential oils, all 3 do contain essential oils. Native in particular, I know has an unscented option. Not sure about the others. Aluminum, no for all 3. My opinion of the smell or fragrance, this one, it's a little weird, I'll be honest. It's a little weird coming out. And when it mixes with like your natural body smell, it also is a little weird. Though I will say all of these kind of fade fairly quickly. So if you are sensitive to smells, and I am a little sensitive to smells, it might bother you, but be aware that it does dissipate pretty quickly. Native, I have to say, wins in the smell and fragrance category. I think the blackberry green tea smells great. The grapefruit one I tried also smelled really holy yum, super great. EO smells really crisp and clean, which I like. The next category I looked at was application. So Lume, I tried the lotion kind. I believe they do make a bar kind as well, or at least it's in a bar format that the lotion squeezes out, so it's sort of like an applicator, more like what you're expecting. This is a cream and you rub it in, which does take some getting used to. Obviously Native is your traditional bar or stick, and then EO is a spray. My notes on these, Lume has really entertaining information. That's actually how I ended up going with them. I read a bunch of reviews as well, but their commercials were pretty great. So I decided to give them a chance based on that. It also appealed to me that these were developed by a doctor, who's the owner and founder of the company. They're hypoallergenic. They're dermatologist approved. You can rub them into any part of the body. It's also a cruelty-free brand, and they're made in the USA. Native is paraben-free. It's cruelty-free. It is also made in the USA. EO is a USDA organic. It's also made in the USA. It is cruelty-free as well. It's a recyclable bottle, which I liked. It also has no propylene glycol and no zinc salts. Pricing wise, none of these are cheap. If you're looking for your kind of traditional anti-perspirant pricing, not going to find it here. The Lume is 3 ounces for $18.99 when I purchased it, though if you bundle, you can get cheaper if you buy multiple products, so to be cheaper per ounce. The Native is 2.6 ounces for $12 and 4 ounces of EO for $10. So sort of pros and cons for each. And again, these are just my personal experience. The pros I found is that I like that it says for underarms and private parts. So it's safe and comfortable to use anywhere. That said, on the con side, as I mentioned, it's a little weird smelling initially. I am sensitive to smells, so I don't love that. I also don't love the lotion application. I appreciate that it makes it very versatile in terms of, you know, if you've ever ended up with like the sports bra funk, it's easy to apply wherever, but you are going to have it on your hands. I also found its results a little inconsistent. In the commercials, it was advertising that it is potentially good up to 72 hours. I did not ever find it to be effective for 72 hours. So sometimes I thought it was a little more effective than others. Not sure the rhyme or reason for that. When it comes to Native, I stole my own thunder and said, this is probably the one I enjoyed the most. I think it smells fantastic, which is really made it attractive to me. It's a little bit cheaper. It's the easy kind of usual kind of application. I only used it on my armpits though, so and I didn't find it particularly long lasting, but again, it almost felt like I was wearing perfume, and I'm not a big perfume wearer. Finally, EO. The pro for this for me is that the reapplication is really easy. Though I will say as a con, because it's a spray, you do need to kind of give it a minute to dry after you spray it, or I think it just ends up on your clothes. It does sting a bit after shaving if you shave your armpits. And again, I didn't find it particularly long lasting. So my takeaways from this, I think it's worth switching away from anti-perspirant. The research that I read about, sweating actually being a positive kind of made me change the way I was thinking, maybe about being a sweaty person. And I liked that I was allowing my body to naturally cool itself when I started thinking about it like that. That said, there are some tips that I've gleaned from my experiences and YouTube research, which again, I will link below in the description. First of all, if you're going to switch to natural deodorant, adjust your expectations. You are probably going to have to reapply natural deodorant if you are looking for a non-smell existence. If you're working out that day and you're going straight to something else, bring your deodorant along to reapply. But then again, I would do that even if I was using the other kind or the regular kind. There's definitely a adjustment period for sure where I honestly felt like I smelled worse as I was transitioning from antiperspirant to straight deodorant. I've heard anecdotal accounts about this from other people, that your body is just kind of adjusting to this new chemical that you're putting on it. So I'd say give it a week or two as you adjust before you make a definitive decision on what your preferred deodorant is going to be. In the meantime, I'd encourage you to look for other sources of stank, because remember, it's the bacteria on your skin, not the sweat itself, that's causing the odor. So obvious one, bathe regularly. So if you're concerned that you might be smelling less than ripe, go take a bath. Also, advice if you are someone who works out frequently like I do, don't sit in your sweat. So if you are exercising, as quickly as you can, get out of those clothes. Even if you can't shower immediately, though I would encourage you to clean up as soon as you can, don't sit around in clothes that are wet. Also, I would encourage you to exfoliate. Dead skin can be a source of funk, so be sure to buff it off. If you want to use, a loofah or a natural sponge, something with a little grit, doesn't have to be sandpaper straight on your skin, but do try to work on your calloused areas and exfoliate on a regular basis. Even if you do have sensitive skin, you can use a gentler form of exfoliant. Give the surfaces that you encounter on the regular a bath too. So make sure you're changing your sheets regularly, you're switching out towels that you're using, that you're not re-wearing clothes too often. Even those loofahs that I just mentioned for exfoliating, make sure you're running them through the wash or the dishwasher or whatever your preferred, replacing them if that's an option for you. And I'd encourage you to give your workout gear extra attention. I know they make all sorts of sort of sports detergents. As someone with sensitive skin, I tend to view those with suspicion. I also tend to view any types of fragrance or detergent as potential irritants to my skin. But I do stick to white vinegar periodically, run through the wash with my workout clothes. Or even pre-treating my workout clothes in the sink ahead of time. Not every time, but periodically, once every couple weeks, once a month, something like that. I also wash my workout clothes in a separate load, and I even have a separate laundry basket for them. I definitely let them dry out, though, by draping them over the edge of the basket if they are damp when I take them off, so that I'm not piling them all in together amongst each other to build a whole new level of funk if they're not headed straight for the laundry. And I also really make sure that things like my sneakers or my boxing gloves get taken out of my gym bag and get aired out so they have a chance to dry as well. Don't let them set in the bottom of a bag again, wet, growing stuff, building funk that you're gonna stick your hands or feet into. And when you realize that you need to replace things, just replace them. So that's my story in terms of transitioning from antiperspirant to a natural deodorant. Where do you stand on the whole antiperspirant versus deodorant versus natural deodorant debate? Have you used any of the brands that I mentioned? What did I miss? Comment below. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Thanks for watching.